Welcome back to that Josh and Bailey show. As you can see, and by the intros, I am a loser, I guess.
You are. After I think I went, what did I say, 12-2?
12-2 on the week. I think I went
good week.
5, 8 and whatever.
8-6, yeah.
8-6. I could look, but
good week for me.
I feel like an idiot. I feel like a small child who doesn't know how to read anything. I feel
about cheese right now. I mean, you're wearing
I do love
it.
cheese.
No, exactly.
I love string cheese. I love string cheese, and I hate blue cheese. Don't know how, but it works. Yeah, tough week for me.
A tough couple weeks. Is 2 in a row.
Tough couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not doing bad, right? I'm above 500 every week. You're just that good.
Yeah.
So let's take a quick peek at week 3. Actually, I'll give you a quick run through of a order of events. Recap OTB. What?
So before we start with sports, big news: a death.
Oh geez, yeah. Oh geez.
Former One Direction member Liam Payne dying. Did you hear what happened?
Yeah, I heard he fell down. I heard he fell off a balcony at a hotel in Argentina. Or wait, no, Brazil.
Argentina.
Yeah, Brazil. No, it's Brazil.
Was it? But yeah. So stories are kind of coming out. I don't know if there's anything like too factual.
Solid, yeah.
But it sounds like he was, pretty erratic. Sounds like drugs,
sounds like he
alcohol.
was up on something a little bit, and that's sucky. So
yeah, but rest in peace to Liam Payne.
R.I.P.
Yeah, now we can go through our order of events. Just wanted to kind of put that out there.
No, yeah, I mean it's valid. It's a big One Direction. 13-year-old girls. When I was 13, they loved him. Like I was compared to Zayn once or twice in my life, and it's true.
And now it's like
it's more or less like I'm like the old rock, like just wrinkly, bald, and ugly.
But now, like for us, like it's kind of like the same thing that we talked about with like Justin Bieber, where it's like now we can admit that we liked One Direction.
Yeah. I will
their
admit
old
that
music.
They're all right.
Yeah, like you can jam to their songs.
Story of my life, I'll take her home. So it's recap OTB questions for the G. Hunter's hot take. Shout out you, Hunter Trombley. And then quick picks, everybody's favorite. What game do you want to start off with last week, Bales? Bailey boy.
Let's see.
Bailey be my baby Bales.
I think I want to start with the Tampa Bay New Orleans game. Spencer Rattler coming in. I can't remember what round he was taken in, but mid-round rookie quarterback coming in to take over for Derek Carr. It was a competitive game at the start.
Up until about halftime. Until about the third.
But Tampa Bay scoring 51 points.
Baker throwing up dimes. Where is he? He's not on this list. But he is a dog.
Yeah.
Certified dog.
Absolutely. But when you score 51 points, that's pretty notable.
Dude, I feel like it was a huge week for like big scores. Like you had 41 Houston, New England, you had 47 Detroit, 51 Tampa. Like it was just like points, candy, giving it out. But no, I agree. Like Spencer Rattler, you didn't know what to expect. Wasn't terrible. I mean, he put up some scores. I think he had at least one touchdown, I think.
Yeah, I think one or two. I think it was one and then 2 picks.
It's his first year. I mean, there's only room to grow, I would say. 2 OU boys playing against each other. That's got to be exciting.
Right.
One's a Heisman winner. The other one's him. So
yeah, just some guy. Another game I think I was pretty excited for was the Washington-Baltimore game. Star rookie quarterback, offensive rookie of the year frontrunner Jaden Daniels taking on Lamar. Ended up being a win for Baltimore, 30-23. Jaden Daniels still looked good in a pretty big game, I would say, for them to kind of prove that they are a good team.
That's part of it, dude. Like you got to think Baltimore. A lot of people Super Bowl AFC contender. And Washington, you're supposed to be in the gutters. I'm seeing a theme here. Yeah. I like Jaden. Obviously, I like him from LSU days. But Dan Quinn coaching out his mind. They're putting up a lot of points, and that's exciting because I don't think Washington has done that a lot since RG3.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see a lot of RG3 in Jaden. It's just that, you know, there's explosive plays. There's a lot of flash, a lot of pizzazz. My concern with him, though, is he's doing it kind of all by himself. I mean, Terry's a dog. You already know that. But how long can Jaden keep this kind of pace up? Exactly. Like long term. But Lamar is doing it too.
Yeah.
I'll circle back to that at hot takes. But any other games that excite you?
We'll talk a little bit about, I guess, just the divisional games. Over in London, Jacksonville taking on Chicago. Chicago just beating down Jacksonville. Chicago sitting at 4-2. The one thing I will say about that is the 4 teams that they have beaten are all just 1-win teams. They suck. Even though the North is like the best schedule, I would say Chicago still is that outlier of not having good competition. Green Bay getting a huge win, I would say, because Arizona, you know, they're a sneaky team, and they're one of those teams that you know you just don't want to have to play come playoff time if they make it. But convincing win. Jordan Love looked spectacular, throwing 1 interception, but it was on a route that Bo Melton fell. So if you didn't follow,
watching that game though, Green Bay. They had that thing on lock. I mean, I'm not a Green Bay fan. I am a fan of many teams. However, Green Bay is not one of those teams. Sorry. But they look good. Like, they didn't seem very rushed. They didn't seem very worried. They were playing at their game. They were, you know, controlling the ball. Takeaways. Huge.
Yeah, I think 3 fumbles.
Huge.
No interception for...
punching that ball.
Yeah, no interception for McKinney this week, ending a streak. But... Arizona, I mean, they did not throw the ball downfield at all. Harrison getting hurt with, or I think concussion coming out of the game, so it really wasn't anything like weapon-wise to throw the ball down the field. But even when he was in the game, they weren't throwing the ball down the field.
On a brighter note for that team, though, that shows you his value to the team.
Yeah.
As a rookie, that shows you his value as a team. I think he's got a long way to go to catch up to his father, but I think it proves that they're on to something with that kid. Round us out with the division, Billy.
All right. And then an absolute blowout. Detroit trouncing the Dallas Cowboys 47-9.
Who am I, Bailey?
What, Dak?
I could be. I'm the Cowboys getting their back blown out. Like, that was just... We watched that game together, and I think about 10 minutes in, we knew it was over.
Yeah.
And, man, do those cats look good.
Yeah. One thing coming out of that game, a gruesome injury, season ender for Lions star defensive end Aiden Hutchinson. That was a disgusting injury. Big blow to that Lions defense in terms of pass rush. I mean, the centerpiece of that defense too, but in Detroit's defense, you know, I think they're good enough to sustain like where they've been. Obviously, filling the role of an Aiden Hutchinson is massive. Now, whether that be kind of plug and play with what they have, maybe possibly going out and getting somebody like Max Crosby filling that role, we'll have to see. But yeah, nonetheless, a huge missing piece here.
Nah, I mean, yeah, you hit it right on the nose. I made Bailey watch that video twice, and he threw up. And Mitchell's a psycho, celebrating.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but good week in the National Football League, American National Football League. What?
We got OTB on the bench. Who are your nominees this week?
I did not really look too hard. If I had to go off of the games I watched, Trey Diggs, he got cooked by JMO a lot. He's not looking good. Dude, that whole defense. I'm just going to do OTB Dallas defense. They did not look good at all. They looked discombobulated. David Montgomery ran all over them. Jared Goff and company cooked them up. Like, it's just...
That's an like a injury-riddled defense.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you're supposed to have that next man up mentality where, like, yeah, obviously Micah Parsons, huge role in that defense, but at the same time, like, what are you guys doing?
But you're not going to lose by 30. 36 points at home. At home.
Yeah.
Dude, I think they're 0-4 at home.
Yeah, they haven't.
Oh, yeah, they're not good at home. So it's just like, Dallas, you are my on-the-bench player. I love you, but I don't see you getting off the bench until you can get at least back up to 500 or better, and until you fire one of the Mikes. The Mike brothers are ruining the Cowboys. And Jerry, yeah.
Yeah. I have two. It was kind of hard because both of these players did leave with injury, but two players that have just not been performing this season. My first one's Travis Etienne. Probably going to lose his starting job to Tank Bigsby.
Dude, Bigsby.
So, yeah, Etienne. And then I believe back-to-back weeks, I have Chris Olave.
Oh, dude, he's been your pick for like all season.
Yeah.
Where are you, Chris?
Where are you, man? Supposed to be the wide receiver one. I understand coming out with injury this week, but still just somebody that we expected to blow up has not shown any progression since his rookie year. So my number one for OTB will be Chris Olave this week.
Oof.
So moving off OTB, we had some big trades this week. My pick for the Devontae Adams sweepstake was correct. He is now a New York Jet. Saw the news pretty early in the morning. I believe it happened like midnight or 11 o'clock midnight here. Got to see the clip of the Pat McAfee show. Aaron Rodgers was talking, kind of signaled Devontae to come into screen, and sounds like I believe he said like he called Rodgers telling him he was getting on a plane. Rodgers asked where to, and he said New York. So yeah, he was already at Rodgers' house, had already been to the facility. Looks like that hamstring.
It heals itself, man. He had a senzu bean. He is healthy.
He is healthy.
Oh.
Sounds like he has a full workload this week. He's practicing in full capacity, not on the injury report. So expect Aaron Rodgers to probably throw him 30 balls this week.
I hate him.
Being a Green Bay fan, I will say like this is just like right for football. Even though it's it could go back. Like what I'd seen their last season together was just a lot of forcing the ball to Adams because that was really the only center point outside of Aaron Jones.
How does it feel to be the farm system for the New York Jets?
Oh, it's great. It's almost like is it Seattle and Minnesota that do the same thing?
Hey man, Seattle gets a ring.
Right.
But it's like reverse roles.
Yeah, I mean, if the Jets get a ring, I'll be happy for the guys, but at the same time, you're not.
This is our year. You can start saying this is our year for two teams though. You realize that?
Yeah, it's a farm system.
This is what it's like being a fan of multiple teams.
Right.
You can cheer for multiple teams now, Bailey.
Oh, once the Packers are out of it.
Well,
yeah, once the Packers are out of it, if the Jets are still in it, then you have to root for them because it's like I think Rodgers should have more than one Super Bowl. Another receiver trade that happened: Amari Cooper getting shipped out of Cleveland, heading to Buffalo, getting Josh Allen his wide receiver one. I don't know the expectation of if Cooper is going to play this week or if it's going to be like limited. They're kind of making it sound like there's a possibility of him not playing, but that could also just be coaching or the strategy. Strategy, he's not. Yeah, we don't know if he's going to play, and then send him out there for 90% of the offensive snaps. But Amari Cooper going to Buffalo, that's a huge plus for Josh Allen. Every time like Amari Cooper's got traded, he just goes off. He falls off at some point, but it's like as soon as he gets to a new team, he's gonna throw up 1,000 yards.
He did not fall off last year. He had 1,000 yards last year. Everybody
right after he gets traded.
Everybody writes him off, and he doesn't write back. Gino, I love you. Amari Cooper in Buffalo, it's just part of the trilogy. It's a part of it. Oakland dumped him. Dallas dumped him. Cleveland's dumped him. I love it. I love Amari Cooper. He's probably like who can I compare him to? He's like
that go-to guy.
He's like Andre Johnson. He doesn't say much, just does his job, but he's freaking good at it. So
I would say like him too, and then like a current guy that I would kind of compare him to would be like a Mike Evans.
Oh yeah,
like quietly,
just solid.
right? It's just solid all around, and like just quietly going for 1,000 every year. Like it doesn't even have to be a good year for Tampa. He just goes for 1,000.
He's like a guy that like he's like one of them like blue collar boys that just shows up to work, does his job every day, and goes home and sleeps, and then probably eats. But it's like, dude, Amari Cooper in Buffalo. I really like it. I think it's good for Keon. I think it's good for that, that whole room right there.
From a vet.
Yep. Get to learn from a vet. You get to see how he does it. You get to see them routes. You get to see how he does it. I love it. I love that.
Yeah. All right. So we got some questions for the group.
Oh, yeah. So my first one was now presenting the New York Packers.
So when Rodgers, got his trade to New York, you saw him bringing multiple former Packers with him. You had Lazard, you had Cobb for a year, Billy Turner, a former Packer. There was some picture of like how many former Packers went to the Jets along with Rodgers. I mean, it was a good amount. Not all notable names, but now Devontae being the most notable. Do we see if the Jets are like in the race? Do we see a certain offensive lineman that hasn't played sign with the Jets to make a run at it with his old boy? Jets need offensive line help. That's been apparent since last year. But could we see David Bakhtiari go to the Jets?
Billy, do as I do and open your eyes because you are dreaming. No, he's not going there. I like your thought process behind it, and I do think he has some ball left in him, but it's just it's not gonna work.
Because otherwise, I think right now
the reunion tour, dude, it's like one of them old bands. Like this is like a AC/DC Guns N' Roses reunion tour. Like I saw the Eagles were on tour again. I was just like, dude, nobody wants to go watch that unless you're born in 1960.
But you know what's happening though?
What
is these tours? They're still selling out.
They're touring because they're bankrupt and broke.
But are they still selling out?
Yeah, but they only last like 20 minutes.
You see, that might be all you need.
It's a short view. Okay, yeah. You can last 20 minutes, and then once it's over, you can go home.
But if you get a ring out of it,
they're not gonna get a ring. How many minutes are in a game of football? How many minutes, Bailey?
We got 60?
15. Yeah, 60. How many minutes
of playtime do they have together? Exactly. But I mean, who knows?
Whatever.
We can see it. I mean, the Jets played the Bills well, so I could see like why the Devontae trade happened. Because I think
if Mikey Williams doesn't drop them balls,
trade candidate for sure.
Not
even a trade candidate, almost like a guaranteed either.
He's just gonna get cut.
Yeah. So moving on to what you have here as free trade agency.
Yeah, I like that. You wanna? Okay, what do you think it means?
If I had to guess, it's almost as if the players that are getting traded are kind of like picking where they want to go.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yep.
And along with that, the teams who are doing the trading and and getting whatever, they're getting last contract year guys.
Yeah.
Or they're getting guys who are, 2 years out or 1 year out. Right. So it's like
low risk.
If I can get ahead of the curve, like if I can get, a guy who's ready to renegotiate in the spring, or he's going to hit the free agency. If I can get him now, nobody else can have him.
Yeah.
Yes. Nobody else gets him.
Get that contract done.
Yes.
Yep.
Get that thing done on our terms, and then we have him for long term. Yep. I think that's the way the league's going. I don't know if I love it, but I noticed that trend after the Devontae and the Mari trade, and I think that could be somewhere down the line. You see some bigger names go. I don't know who, but
I got one.
Whoa.
So, staying on the Jets, the Jets gave Hassan Reddick, from what it sounded like, is they gave him a very short, limited amount of time to seek out a trade. And I really don't know, like, you don't hear much about the situation anymore. I mean, Hassan Reddick has forfeited millions of dollars, still hasn't reported to the Jets. He's definitely not going to. Is there going to be a trade? It kind of seems like the Jets are just holding out just to kind of.
Well, Salah's not there, so why wouldn't they trade him?
Right. But it kind of seems like they're kind of just trying to stick it to him after, they got him in a trade. They gave up a decent amount for him. He's not reporting. Wants to get paid as the top guy.
You're gonna be old, bro, by the time you get paid. So
He's gonna end up in like Jacksonville. They're like if they're gonna trade him.
Oh my god, dude! They just traded out. Jacksonville just traded out to Seattle D-line.
Oh yeah. But it's like, when is this gonna end? It's kind of one of those situations like the Ayuk situation where it's like you kind of like you hear about it once in a while, but it's like it's kind of like you get sick and tired of hearing about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who is the team most in trouble?
One team that is in the most trouble. I think it's Dallas. I do think it's Dallas. Being 0-3, 0-4 at home. They're right now, I mean, I think they're still above New York in that division, but they're the third best team in that division. And the way that they've been playing, they're getting blown out by the Lions, which, okay, I understand. Like, the Lions are a good team, right?
Great
team.
Yeah, best team. Favorite team of all time. Second to...
But Dallas is playing like they're not even, like, looking.
They don't want to play football no more.
Right.
I mean, Jerry, okay, this is... Okay. Reel it in. Reel it in. Jerry and Mike McCarthy have run their course, and it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Are
you telling Jerry to sell the team?
I'm not telling him to, but I'm leaning that way where it's like, give it back to the family. Polads just did it.
Mm-hmm.
Give it back to the family. But Jerry needs to go. Mike needs to go. Mike Zimmer needs to go. Dak needs to go. They just need to blow that thing up. Just blow it up at this point.
Okay, so who would take Dak's contract if there was a team?
Well, they can't now. I'm just saying, hypothetically, that would be what you want to do. Who would take it? Who could take it? Vikings could take it. They have that cap space. Do they want to? Not really. Who else would have that?
Teams, like Carolina.
It'd be like, I mean, LA, maybe. Stafford's getting up there. You can get ahead of it. You can get ahead of the curve. It's just tough. I don't see him, if he did move, I don't see him going NFC. I see him going AFC just because Jerry's not going to want to do it. Raiders. Raiders could be in that spot. I don't know. The Jets.
Right. Who's your team that you believe is most in trouble then?
Haha. See? Double meaning on the word trouble, Bailey. Double meaning on the word trouble. Who is the most in trouble? I think the Kansas City Chiefs are in the most trouble. Why? Because Baltimore is playing really good. Mm-hmm. Buffalo just got a really good receiver. You just lost some pretty big pieces. You lost Rasheed. You lost Pacheco.
Yep.
You're starting to stumble back. Mahomes isn't playing great. You're starting to stumble back. Trouble. Objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. Right? If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs right now, I'm looking in the rearview mirror and I'm noticing that the playing field is getting a little bit thick. There's some good teams out there. There's some sneaky good teams that could come up and beat you. Mm-hmm. Houston, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, anybody in that north, they could all come up and just take some wins. Then you're dead.
I do like that pick. I think another big thing, especially we just got off the topic of trades. The trade deadline coming up here in a couple of weeks, and there's really not a lot of teams that are willing to give Kansas City what they want because of how good they are. If you're an AFC team and you're looking to kind of trade some pieces, you look at Cleveland trading Amari Cooper. Trading him to the Bills is one thing, but if there was a choice between like, all right, we'll trade Amari Cooper to the Bills for a third, or trade Amari Cooper to the Chiefs for a second, I still think they're going to trade to the Bills. Nobody wants to help the Chiefs out. Mm-mm. And with that, those two injuries, big injuries, two very vital pieces to that offense, they're not going to get help from other teams unless they're giving up the farm. And they still might not get it.
The Devontae thing, exactly. The Crosby thing, exactly. Like, teams are not, I agree with you there. Yeah. I agree with you there.
All right. So, you have here...
This is kind of more into the quick picks. So, I mean, if you want to skip them, the next two, they kind of roll into quick picks too.
We can do that and then just go quick picks from there. So, we'll talk about it real quick.
Okay, bet.
So, you're saying Green Bay's biggest test this weekend, taking on Houston.
Houston.
So, Houston going to Lambeau. I think like right now in the North, every game is such a big game just because you don't want to fall behind.
Well, if whoever wins on Monday or on Sunday, and then if Green Bay wins, and then if Chicago wins next week, it's basically a 4-way tie for first.
Yeah.
Let's say the Vikings lose, Detroit wins 5-1, 5-1. Green Bay wins 5-2. If Chicago wins next week, it's 5-2 for them, and then
Green Bay goes on bye week 10.
yeah. So then it's like
Yeah,
it's a 4-way race.
There's a reason that the point differential is like over 100 points above the next division. Yeah, definitely, probably outside of the Vikings, the best team that they'll play so far. Because we don't have like Detroit for a few weeks now.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
We don't play Minnesota again for a few weeks, but yeah, this is. I mean, the game to prove who you are.
And Houston's a lot better than they were when they played the Vikings.
Yes,
Houston's a lot better. So
yep, it's gonna be a lot of defense. I think that is gonna come into play. Both high-powered offenses. Usually, like when you see something like that, it's rare that you get like bad defensive games where you just have, outside of the Kansas City LA game a few years ago where they put up like
greatest game of all time.
Very rare that you get games like that, but I think the defense for the Packers is going to be the biggest key to winning this game, making Stroud uncomfortable. They lead the league in takeaways. They need to continue that. They got to do what Minnesota did, make C.J. Stroud kind of look like a rookie.
Run.
Yeah.
Make him do it, yeah. They do get Mixon back, though.
Yeah. Mixon, big part of that offense. No Nico, because he's on IR.
League leader, Nico.
Yes. But one guy coming back to face Green Bay again, an old nemesis, and Stephon Diggs.
And Daniil.
And Daniil, yes. But Stephon's going to look to have a huge game. He's going to be my key player for the offense on the Texans. Look for Stephon to have probably his best game of the season. I don't know if there's going to be like a set matchup, if they're just going to have Jair running with Diggs, or if they're just going to go base Halfley defense and wherever they line up is where they line up. Haven't seen a lot of like following when it comes to Jair. But Jair coming back, I think he's off the report. Christian Watson, I believe, also off the report. Not too many big injuries. I think Devontae Wyatt, probably the biggest one that's out for Green Bay. So Green Bay, decently healthy, or pretty healthy. I don't want to say decently. Like, they're pretty healthy. I did see, I think, 2 starting linebackers and a safety or a corner. So a couple starters on defense for Houston being out. So Green Bay's going to have to bring everything that they have to.
I like it.
Beat the Texans.
I think it's a prove-it game, like you said earlier, though. I think it's, if they win this game, they're in the hunt with the NFC leaders, Detroit and Minnesota. If they lose this game, I mean, it's not the end of the world.
No, absolutely
But
not.
it definitely puts you, a step back from the top 2 teams. And, yeah, I mean, Houston, if they win this game, they are, at
6-1.
Whoever wins this game, they're ascending into that higher echelon. And so I love it.
Then we got a huge matchup. It breaks Josh's heart, but also he loves it. Kind of the same thing as last week, maybe a little bit better. But Kings of the NFC North. We have Detroit taking on Minnesota. An absolute barn burner game.
Powerhouse. Juggernauts.
5, man. 5.
Fives. Oh, man.
What is 5 going to do to that Minnesota defense? Is he going to continue playing the way that he has, or is that Minnesota defense going to step up? Are they going to roll over Detroit, or is it just going to be a close game the entire time?
Well, let me tell you something, Bailey.
Yep. I don't know why I closed that.
Fives is a tremendous running back.
Absolutely.
Right? However, what was Detroit's struggle the first few games of the season?
Red zone scoring.
What is Brian Flores' strength right now?
Red zone defense.
Need I say more? No, I think this is obviously it's the game of the year right now. I don't care what you say about Kansas City, Baltimore. I don't care what you say about Buffalo, Baltimore. I don't care what you say about any of the other games. This is game of the year right now. Okay, everybody and their grandmother is going to be watching this game for 2 reasons. One, They want to see Minnesota lose because they hate Minnesota, and they want to see Detroit win because they love Detroit.
They're the darlings.
They're the darlings. The NFL is going to do something crazy, right? They are going to make this game a 40-40 game. It's going to be lights out, high scoring. I don't see JG throwing for less than 300. I don't see Brian Flores getting less than 3 sacks. I think it's going to be all out fun fest. I think it's going to be the greatest game we've ever seen. I think it's going to have all the lights and bells and whistles. Jared Goff is, he's heating up. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's heating up. J-Mo, he's hot. He is red hot. If you put a branding needle to him, he would just cool that thing off because he's so hot. However, Sam Darnold, MVP style quarterback. Mm-hmm. No Aaron Jones this week. Cam Akers just came back. Ty Chandler.
Is Jones out?
Yep, they're out. Well, he's
Yeah,
questionable. He's questionable today. I'm leaning more on the end side that he's out just because it seems like it. It seems like it's going to be that one of those games where it's like he'll get some touches, but I don't think he's going to get the full workload. Therefore, he's going to be out. Mm-hmm. Hockenson out. Justin Jefferson is going to have to show up.
Yeah. So before you pick, we'll save the pick. We'll save the division games, but I'll let you kind of finish what you're saying before we get into quick picks. Justin Jefferson. Dog.
I don't know. No Blake Cashman. Dude, it's just going to be – it's a 50-50 game. Like, it is so close, and they are so well matched. I don't know.
Heading into quick picks.
Great game.
Here. So, week 7. We are already at week 7, man. This is crazy.
Almost halfway.
All right, so Thursday night. So, obviously today, Friday, we didn't make picks. So, we won't use that for our
I won't get punished for that.
But Denver going to New Orleans, beating up on them 33-10. Sean Payton getting his revenge game. That was a great game to watch. So
he fooled all of us.
He did.
He baited us into thinking they were bad, and now he got their guy. Ooh.
All right, so starting off over in London. Again, Jags playing there, but New England taking on
it's a home
Jacksonville.
Game. It's a home game. Jacksonville.
All right, I'm going to take New England. I kind of like Drake May. I kind of like him.
2 bad teams play each other, and one of them's at home. The home team's going to win.
All right, next up, we have Seattle heading to Atlanta.
You already know.
Yes, sir. I'm going Seattle as well. And we have Tennessee going to Buffalo.
You already know.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bad game. Not for Buffalo.
Not for Buffalo.
It's gonna be a bad game to watch.
Will Levis might actually need help after this game. He's gonna have a rough day.
Yep, I'm going Buffalo. We have a nice little division rival game. We got Cincinnati.
Sneaky good game. They just kind of were like, okay, here's a really good game.
Yeah, Cincinnati at Cleveland.
Deshaun Watson is a pervert, and I'm going Cincinnati.
Yep, I'm going Cincinnati as well. All right, skip over.
We'll save that one. Yeah, we'll save that one. It's Houston, Green Bay, by the way.
We have the Miami Dolphins heading to Indianapolis to take on the Colts.
Again, 2 bad teams play each other. Home team wins.
Yeah, I believe Anthony Richardson's coming back this week. He's in line to start, so I'm going to take Indy at home. Skip over that game. All right, another division game. We have Philadelphia heading to New York. Take on the Giants.
Nick Sirianni is about the most toxic person in the world aside from every girlfriend's ex. Philly.
Yeah, I'm taking Philly too.
Yes.
I don't know.
Dude, have we gone opposites yet?
I don't think so.
You took Jacksonville. No, you took New England.
Oh, I took New England. Yeah.
Okay. Dude, if it's decided by 1 game, I'm going to be pissed. Okay, keep going.
All right. Then we have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Los Angeles Rams.
Rams.
Yep, I'm taking the Rams
That's easy.
well.
That's an easy pick.
I think, is Cooper Kupp in line to come back?
Doesn't even matter, dude.
Yeah.
Who's throwing the ball and now who's catching the ball?
Right. We have Carolina taking on Washington.
Hold on. Yeah. All my brain cells are working. I'm taking Washington.
Yeah, I'm taking Washington too. This one right here. This is a good game. Kansas City.
Super Bowl 58 rematch.
Yeah, taking on the San Francisco 49ers.
San Francisco 49ers. Oh, yeah.
I'm taking Kansas City. think you have to.
Yeah, you have to, but I don't want to.
Right. Even though San Fran's at home, it's just, I mean, Kansas City's still winning games. They're still number
Kansas
one, number
City,
two
yep.
power rankings. Yeah. All right. Sunday Night Football.
Good game.
Yes.
Good game.
So we have the Jets going to Pittsburgh. A couple things coming out of that. Obviously, we talked about the big one with Devontae Adams heading to the Jets. Sounds like he's going to get a full workload. Going to be playing. Russell Wilson in line to start.
Ooh.
Pittsburgh benching Justin Fields.
You didn't let me wear my jersey last week, so I'm going with Pittsburgh for Russ. Three's up.
I'm going to take the Jets. I see Devontae Adams having a huge game with Rodgers.
You're a terrible person.
So that's Sunday Night Football.
Moving into doubleheader Mondays.
Yeah, doubleheader Monday night. First game, Baltimore at Tampa.
Good freaking game.
Tampa's hot.
Good freaking game.
Yep.
Baker, primetime, Baker. Baker.
Oh. Sticking with Baltimore.
You're a terrible person.
I love them. Love Baltimore.
I hate Baltimore.
Then the second Monday night game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers heading to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. That's a weird game.
I like Justin Herbert's hair, so I'm going to take Arizona. I just think Arizona's better at home. Home team. If you're ever in doubt, if you're a betting person, call 1-800-GAMBLING to get help. But if you're a betting person, take the home team. Always take the home team. The line doesn't matter.
I'm going to take Arizona too. Two teams on bye this week, Chicago and Dallas. And then heading back up to our two divisional games, we'll start off with the Houston Texans taking on Green Bay Packers.
You see the jersey? You see the jersey? I'm going to take them.
Really?
I'm going to take them dogs. They're home. What did I just say?
Home. They are home.
What did I just say?
I'm going to take Green Bay as well.
Defense wins championships. Father, that's for you.
This is more of a biased pick, really, than anything. But I think Green Bay is a very good team. And
Jordan Love is back. Jordana, she's back.
And the game that we just got done talking about.
I want your pick first because that might determine my pick. I'm very weak like that.
So I was thinking about this as you were talking about it. Obviously, a very hard game with two NFC frontrunners right now. I'm going to take Detroit on the road against Minnesota. Minnesota coming off a bye. 2 straight games with the Packers and the Jets where even though they were up early, ends up being close. The Flores defense in the second half just not really doing anything. The offense kind of looks bad in the second half. Not getting much going. Punting the ball a lot, whether, maybe a couple turnovers here and there, but maybe Detroit just comes out and smacks the Vikings. I'm taking Detroit.
The most popular stat in Viking games right now. Do you know what it is? The one that they talk about the most. Or at least one of the top 5. I hope. Maybe.
What?
Doesn't matter.
Their passing offense being the worst?
No. It's different. It has to do with the clock. They have only trailed for 3 minutes all season, and we are 7 weeks in. If they are trailing this game, Flores plays lights out. Flores, lights out coach. If they are up this game, I think you're onto something. I am taking, against my best knowledge, the Minnesota Vikings. I don't like it. I think Fives is the best player on the planet. I think Sam Darnold is MVP candidate, but it's just that the city's buzzing.
Yeah.
The city's buzzing. They're going to be back off by. They're 5-0 for the first time since 2016. The city's buzzing. People are hungry for this. You talking to me type style. They want this money. They wrote us off. We're writing them back. I don't care about the pack. Give me Minnesota. So that's our quick picks. I think we disagree on we disagreed on, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Okay. Yeah, we did a couple towards the end there.
4. We did 4. I'm looking at it now. We did 4. Okay. So stay tuned for next Thursday's episode to see if I will be in humiliation again, or if Bailey finally gets to see what I'm cooking up for him.
Oh God, I hope not.
Yeah.
We need these picks, man. All right, so non-football related. So we are
2 weeks in.
2 weeks in
To the or a month in. 3 weeks into the MLB playoffs.
Yep.
The Yankees are playing right now against the Cleveland Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers are up 3-1 against the Mets.
Yep. I'm gonna take the two powerhouse teams.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Dodgers and Yankees.
Yep.
I think they're both gonna get it done because I think the Yankees still have to win 2.
Yankees have to win 2. If they win tonight, then they have to win 1.
Yeah.
The Mets have to win 3 in a row.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. So I do think it's gonna be a Dodgers Yankees
World Series.
Even though like for your average fan, it's the grossest outcome you can think of. But I think the Yankees will ultimately win
The World
this
Series,
year.
yeah. With what's left,
Yeah.
yes.
The Dodgers, I mean, they won it in 20 during the COVID year.
18, yeah, something like that. Kershaw got his first.
Yep. I just like the Yankees roster in terms of like the players that they have, the players that they're putting out there. Giancarlo coming alive in the playoffs. The man lives for the playoffs. Has been amazing. Aaron Judge, I mean, he's not playing bad. It's still Aaron Judge, but I think once the World Series comes, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like a 4.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like a 4-1, 4-2.
Dude.
Whoever they play.
I'm big on the Yankees. I love the Yankees. So yes, you're preaching to me, bro. Yeah, I think you're right with that. Dodgers are beating up the Mets. It's just outmatched, outpaced. Cleveland's they're stingy. They're an ankle biter type team, but I do agree. I think New York gets it done. I think 2 games back or at least another game back in New York will break it up. And yeah, man, I love it. I love the Yanks and go Yanks.
So moving off the MLB, some basketball going on. I think they're playing right now, or they play tomorrow. WNBA Finals.
Yeah.
New York Liberty, Minnesota Lynx. So Minnesota for us. Minnesota taking game 1, Liberty getting game 2, and then the Lynx had a very nice lead in game 3, ultimately losing to a Sabrina Ionescu game winner with like 1 second left, deep 3, kind of breaking the hearts of Minnesota Lynx fans.
Hey, they're valid fans. They're verified fans.
They
now,
are.
so.
But game 4, Minnesota needs a win to send game 5 back to New York for all the marbles. I was listening to I think it was Dan Barrero, and
This is your
yes,
Minnesota
they were talking about
Lynx
the finals here, and he kind of brought up a good point that like New York has probably more depth from their main scoring pieces. Minnesota, Nafisa Collier, MVP candidate.
Reason to watch basketball.
She's great. She is great. And outside of that, I mean, you have Courtney Williams, who, from what I've seen, she's hot or cold. Great mid-range game, but I think Cheryl Reeves kind of like wanting her to be a point guard, and turnovers just killing her. That's what Barrera was talking about. But yeah, Minnesota needs a big game 4. Get back to New York and hopefully get another title for Minnesota, since that's the only team that can seemingly bring a title to Minnesota until the Wolves win it.
Until the Wolves win it this year, and the Vikings win it this year, and the Twins they win it next year because they sold the team.
Yeah.
And then the Wild, they can die because the Hawks are going to win it this year. So go Blackhawks. Well, Bales.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your
quick highlight. I want to give a big shout out to the Princeton Tigers. They went 8-0 on their high school football season. First time since 2004-2005. Their head coach was on that 2004-2005 teams. 20 years later, he brings them back to the glory land. They do have a big test, so we'll see how that goes. But all in all, 8-0. Not a lot of teams do it, so I'm really happy for him. It's 7 years removed from 0-8. Sorry. And, it's exciting. Town is buzzing. I'm really hopeful. That's all I got.
All right. I ain't got nothing for you.
Now get me out of this freaking hat.
Thank you again. Nice. Good touch.